Howdy, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Stay Creative Podcast, a show dedicated to highlighting, promoting, and celebrating the unique art and soul of the many talented independent artists that I meet. Through making this show, I have strengthened an existing belief that you cannot have a conversation with a person about their passion without taking some of it for yourself. So this show is also dedicated to sharing insights, tips, and encouragement that are going to be beneficial to people in any stage of finding, refining, or perfecting their creative voice. This week we are talking with Kyle and Jack. They are the 1-2 punch behind the project name for writer and vocalist Kyle Sims. You can find Sims on Spotify or SoundCloud, and soon you'll be able to find their new EP around the internet as well. We will talk about just how soon in our conversation, along with some tips and most of all encouragement for artists still finding their own sound. So stay tuned. Sims, Jack, the very first question I like to ask folks is, who are you? Like, where'd you grow up? Sims, you go first, and then we'll move on to Jack.
Well, my name's Kyle Sims. You guys obviously know me as Sims. I'm from Montgomery County, Maryland, a little town called Baltimore. I'm a little town called Olney. Sorry about that. I'm now living in Baltimore for school. And yeah, I've just been doing this music thing about a year and a half and stuff. You know, I've been doing it for a really long time actually, but I just was so nervous about ever releasing any music up until a year and a half ago. And even now, when I listen to my own music with a crowd of people, I still get a little bit nervous because I'm just like, it's just, you know, me being a little bit subconscious about it, frankly. But yeah, I'm just a guy from Maryland.
Awesome, man. Jack, what about you? Where are you from?
I'm actually, Kyle and I went to the same middle school. That's actually how we linked up and became really good friends. So I'm from the same town, moved up to Baltimore. I just graduated from Towson University there. And then I'm actually in the process of moving. I actually moved to California tomorrow.
Awesome, man. That's a move.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's kind of I always describe it as like a movie script within itself, like a big road trip within a pandemic. It's sort of just like the craziest sort of turn of events. But yeah, sort of I pretty much have Kyle's honestly one of the biggest reasons that I have gotten into music. I've been pursuing, I'm graduated with a electronic media and film degree, and I took a audio production class, I think my sophomore year, and one of the projects was to, record a song. And I mean, Kyle is immensely talented. So it was a lot easier on my part because, you already have a good other half. So just blending those together, and the progression that we've seen already is incredible. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know how much music you have that hasn't seen SoundCloud or Spotify or whatever, but even just the earliest stuff that I have heard compared to now, like there's a progression, but there was a quality and almost a unity to it the entire time. So it really makes sense. You guys have been friends longer than you've been, musical partners, I guess. So I actually from that did want to ask, like, how long have you been making music?
I've always been really big into writing. So that's sort of where my musical career has started, was more so like poetry, songwriting, just trying to get down thoughts onto a piece of paper and make it into something cohesive. And then pretty much when it started going into, more of the digital production within music, that's sort of when I was like, okay, I absolutely in love with this, fell in love with Pro Tools, and just like working in actual software. But I think the biggest part was I love working with people. And I think like artists have a specific sort of mindset where it's like they're creating something and I'm able to be a part of that collaborative process. And that's sort of the best part of making music, I would say. It's that collaborative process.
For sure, man. Yeah, it's a an expression I hear a lot with D&D, but it's as good as the people you play it with, and that goes a lot for music, like collaborations and the people you share it with as well. So, same question to you, Sims. When did you get into music? When did you start?
Well, I started when I was just my dad was actually making music when I was a little kid, so I wanted to be like him. I wanted to make music like my dad. His music, honestly, it needs a little bit of work, but I loved it anyway. I loved it anyway. So I've been writing ever since I was a little kid. But my first real song that I ever made, I would say, was during high school. Me and a bunch of my friends, we all came together and made an album called the Water Park Album. It's I hope it never sees the light of day on this because it's really, you can tell it was made by a bunch of high school guys. Let's leave it at that. But it was so much fun, and it really got me into just the creative process. And when Jack needed that is his assignment done, he hit me up, and that's when we made Lunch and my other first song, Lesson, and it got a really good reception. So we decided to keep on going with it, and it brought us to where we are now.
Man, that's awesome. It's funny, too, because you just described your progression forward in almost the exact order I experienced it backwards. Lesson was the last of your songs that I encountered. And I was like, oh, man, Sims used to go hard. Used to go after people, it sounds like. But, yeah, that's cool, man. So I want to ask, like, early on, you said your pops was a inspiration, obviously. We all, learn who we're going to be from watching the adults in our lives, like, be who they are. But who else, like, early on, did you kind of emulate? Who were your inspirations?
Well, one thing I think has really stuck with me, like, as I've been growing up, has been when I was younger, my family used to listen to a lot of gospel music. So hearing all these rich voices and like these elaborate like chord progressions and all these amazing instruments, and it really helped me pick up. You can tell like it's a big influence for me in like a couple of my songs. I just love the way that I love like full sounding songs like that. That sound like, I just love making like happy music.
Yeah.
I also when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a rapper. I want to be a rapper one day. So I might as well listen to some of the fastest rappers out there. The fastest rappers to me were the best rappers automatically when I was a little kid. So I would just listen to guys like I don't know if you know Watsky. I would listen to watch his old videos, Busta Rhymes, and just try to copy their flows pretty much. And that also helped me a lot become. It was really hard, honestly, for me at first because I don't know if you know, but I have like a lisp when I speak, so it was very difficult at first. But we practice over and over again. I probably played "Look at Me Now" probably at least 1,000 times. But yeah, it's just been it was just nice to also guys like obviously guys like Tupac, Marvin Gaye, the people that my parents were playing that were on the radio. Those guys also meant a lot to me when I was younger.
I hear kind of maybe an eclectic appreciation for music and sounds and production in your music. Each track has enough different from the last that it feels unique. It feels very alive, but also track after track, time after time, your vocals are kind of the prominent feature. So it's all cohesive, I dig that, man. What about you, Jack?
For sure. I don't know, because I've been thinking about this in terms of like influence in terms of my music, and I am now just starting to get more into looking up like other engineers and like their mixes, specifically like Alex Toomey, who does like a lot of like Young Thug stuff, but just his sort of more so approach to it, not necessarily because I think engineering, producing, and music in general is incredibly subjective. So like somebody could make something and be like, that's, absolutely mixed terribly. And somebody can listen to it and be like, yeah, that sounds great. So, but I think with influences with music, I would say that I see music like as more of like a visual element. So I like taking like a lot of like influences from, like directors with like unique aesthetics, like Wes Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, Quentin Tarantino. And I like being able to almost like imagine each individual song, like where would you position this in a movie? And then therefore you can, develop themes and sort of like artistic expressions within every individual song, because it's like, this is telling a narrative and telling a story within itself.
Yeah.
But in terms of like music, I mean, I grew up on a lot of, I'd say like a lot of like pop music, a lot of pop punk. I went through, my emo phase of, pop punk music. My mom listened to a lot of country music. I've sort of like swayed away from that, but I still enjoy like the acoustic style of everything. But with like rap music, I mean, it's been, a lot of Kendrick, J. Cole, a lot more like conscious lyrical rap that have sort of dived me into where I am now, sort of just working with a bunch of people.
One quick question of clarity for me. Production is the mixing and mastering, but does that include making the actual track, the beat?
I personally, none of Kyle's music I've produced myself. I engineer it with the like mixing and mastering. Production, we generally will outsource for that. A lot of one of our producers, Kyle, it's Kanoko. Is that how you pronounce it? His name?
Kokonoku.
Kokonoku.
Nice.
Phenomenal.
He sounds like a Star Wars bad guy.
He's actually the guy who
producer.
He mixed. He made the beat for Cold and for Mike.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I want to dive a little bit more. Educate myself, immerse myself in a little bit more of the production side of it. Although like mixing and mastering would be considered part of the production, but more so with producing the actual beats themselves.
So I want to ask, just kind of talking about those early influences and origin stories of you guys as superhero comic books. If you right now could send advice back to yourselves when you first got involved with music, what do you think that advice would be?
Honestly, one of the biggest pieces of advice, and this is sort of like my mantra, how I'm living now, is just like, don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to try new things and experiment, specifically with music. Like, switch up your style, be in a way where like, let's just try, let's see how it works. Because I think that's the biggest part of like, if you're not growing, you're dying. You want to be consistently evolving. So I would tell, young adolescent Jack to not be so worried about outside forces and only focus on like just growing and developing yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You said something in there that reminds me of a lyric I really like. The word for not changing is death. So I believe in that a lot too, man. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, of course.
Sims, what about you? What's something you would tell young Sims as he was getting ready to start making music?
I would just say, not to be so hard on myself, because I would just take songs that I've written, probably dozens and dozens of songs. I would write them to completion and just tear them up, say they're not good enough, say that I'm not good enough as an artist to put this out into the world. And I was so afraid of like getting negative reception for the things that I would, because, when you make a song, that's like a part of yourself. That's a part of your soul in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone, tears it down, that's tearing down like a part of you.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the biggest hurdle for me was just getting over that first amount, saying it's okay if people don't like it because you like it, and that's what's important.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like there has to be some grace given to yourself whenever you are trying to do what you've said and like take what's inside of you and put it outside of you. That's a traumatic and vulnerable experience, and it's
right.
It's not going to feel right every time,
And you wrote it for a reason. There's a reason you put it down on the page. So, even if you might not like it, like 2 years from now, future you will be like, there's something that was, in that I can build off of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the value of journaling, so that amazing. You can meet yourself a little bit, like that's a powerful thing. And that's cool, man. I really appreciate both of your answers. And I hope people really hear what you're saying. You know, in this recording, like obviously we're here to talk about music, but also we're here to talk about making music and how that isn't always easy. You know, like the best stuff, the stuff that's most worth making will challenge you the most too, you know? That's cool, man. Well, I'd like to move into the first track we're going to listen to together, and I'd like maybe you guys both can take a moment to introduce it. Kyle, we'll start with you. Never Ever is the name of the track. And Jack, if you didn't work on this one with Kyle, that's perfectly fine. You can pass.
No, I worked on pretty much everything in Kyle's discography.
Awesome. Okay.
I've mixed.
Well, Kyle, give us some backstory on it.
So Never Ever is Never Ever is a song about when you're, you know, when I'm writing songs, I like just making songs about like an emotion you feel at just one certain point in time. And Never Ever is that feeling of after you just got out of a relationship, this person in your life is not good for you, and you honestly just don't want them in your life anymore. And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. So I'm glad I was able to put it into words, honestly.
Yeah.
It's Sims.
JC on the track, boy.
You're still using that manipulation, telling me you're sorry, but you know by now that it's too late and don't know why the hell you trying it. Cause every time I think about you, my heart dies inside a bit, and I don't even wanna say all the shit you've done to me to fuck up my whole day. So no way, we just can't be friends. Hope I never, ever, ever, ever see your ass again. Yeah, I know that chorus might seem harsh, but you changed your whole tune since you see me flourish in the arts. Trying to hit my phone up with all that, I know it's been a while, shit. How you gonna call me when your ass has been so childish? I thought what we had was something that could live forever, though. Opened up my heart and let you in like it's an envelope. Left me so unstable like a beat without a metronome. Now how you gonna reconcile all that through the telephone? You know, if you even had an ounce of self-reflection, but now you done found out you fucked me up with no protection. And by now you'd recognize by fucking with those other guys, you just completely jeopardize a chance of keeping that connection. But shit, that's your decision. I know sometimes life ain't fair, but you know that you can't blame me for just saying I don't care. I done moved on to way bigger things now if you ain't aware. So if you don't mind it, you can kindly kiss my derriere. You're still using that manipulation, telling me you're sorry, but you know by now that it's too late and don't know why the hell you trying it. Cause every time I think about you, my heart dies inside a bit, and I don't even wanna say all the shit you've done to me to fuck up my whole day. So no way, we just can't be friends. Hope I never, ever, ever, ever see your ass again. Now wait a second, let me guess it. You made a few mistakes, but hey, I guess you learned your lesson. Think it's plain to see you just like taking me for granted. Yeah, I've heard of second ones, but you've had tons of chances. You done dropped the ball on me about as hard as Zion. Ain't no way in hell I'll be that shoulder you can cry on. Let bygones be bygones, now I'ma keep it real. I wrote a couple rhymes to tell you exactly how I feel. The thought of you, it makes me sick as any fucking pathogen. Sex with you was terrible, at best it was some average shit. Wish that I could ship you off with Amazon packaging. Girl, your heart's as black as skin upon the average African. Us to parting really was a blessing in disguise. Now if you don't mind, just leave a message at the tone. Hopefully at the end of this song you done realize all I want's for you to leave my fucking ass alone, fucking bitch. You're still using that manipulation, telling me you're sorry, but you know by now that it's too late and don't know why the hell you trying it. Cause every time I think about you, my heart dies inside a bit, and I don't even wanna say all the shit you done to me to fuck up my whole day. So no way, we just can't be friends. Hope I never, ever, ever, ever see your ass again. Yep. See your ass again, girl. Boys and girls, see your ass again. I want you to send this to whoever needs it, alright? Some of y'all just don't fucking listen. See your ass again, girl. Feel me? See your ass again. Sims. Hope I never, ever, ever see your ass again.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for sharing that. I want to ask Jack now. Do you have any specifics to share about that track? I completely forgot to ask you after Sims before the song.
No, it's all good. Honestly, I think that song sort of speaks for itself. But that track was sort of like, I think, at least in my eyes, a turning point with Sims's music, because it truthfully, like after that, I was like, we've gotten it not only sonically, but also like his lyrical content just, I think, went up to a different degree. And it was like, you can feel the emotion, but also it is an infectious chorus. That chorus is ridiculously infectious, and it just became an earworm that I think that I mean it's sort of, that's a little sneak peek to what's to come.
Yeah, definitely. You say earworm. I remember listening to the EP that is yet to come. I'm excited to talk about maybe when that's coming out. But I was listening to that with my wife, and every track, I think I said, this might be the single. Maybe this is the single. You know what I mean? Like they're all such ready to be on the radio type tracks. I dig it, man. But yeah, so I mean, moving from that early collaborations together, are you guys still kind of going for the same sound, or at that time when you had that kind of lyrical evolution, did something in your music change? Or are you aiming for something different now?
I think, at least with like, I think I like to incorporate like further progressing with artistic styles. But I think, I think it's all still a learning process, and we're still trying to figure out exactly. Right now, Sims does have a very distinctive sound, not only with his singing, but also with his rapping. And I think moving forward, I'd like to see, I think, a little bit, maybe more diving into singing, and one of the songs that we've been working on, it dives a little bit more into that, and a little bit more into like sort of a R&B type style that I think it would be great to explore. But I that's up to Sims. That's up to Kyle. Whatever he wants to do. I'm in support, and whatever progression he wants to decide on, that's sort of where it goes. I just I give my 2 cents, but Kyle does what he wants. It's his work.
For sure. Well, Kyle, what do you think about your transition from Never Ever up until now?
Well, with the EP, which this Discord's probably heard every song on the EP now, except for one of them. But I tried to, I really wanted to try to make a couple of varying tracks. Like I wanted The Fall to sound different from Thought About It, to sound different from Damn. I really wanted to experiment with these different sounds, these different styles of rap, and these different moods that these songs make you feel. And I just wanted to lay it down and see what it sounded like, and I think it sounded good. So I think I'm going to keep on experimenting more and more in the future. I'm not sure with what yet. I guess that's where the fun part is, to find out what you're going to do. But yeah, I'm not sure where it leads for the future, but I'm very happy with the way everything sounds now in terms of just quality.
Yeah, man, awesome. Yeah, you guys have certainly hit a comfortable stride. It would be easy to just keep making the exact stuff you've been making, because it feels diverse even within an EP or within a song. Even there's kind of a hook section that feels more R&B at times, and or pop even. With the catchiness turned up to 11, but then it comes back into quick rap that feels a little bit more like it's silly to compare rap to hip hop, but sometimes a track just feels more like rap and a track feels more like hip hop,
Yeah,
like there are whole sections of your tracks that feel like rap songs, and it's fantastic, man. I really dig it. But we've teased it enough. I really want to know when can I listen to this EP on Spotify or home cassette?
Well, every song is done being recorded now. We sent the song Good As Mood, the guy who mixed and mastered, did the complete mixing and mastering of Good As Mood. I sent everything over to him, and he's going to name's Walter Wiggins III, by the way. He's amazing at what he does.
Phenomenal.
Nice.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's everything sent over to him. Hopefully he's going to be done by the end of the month. And I'm thinking maybe a September 1st date. If we're cross my fingers for a September 1st date.
Nice. So does that leave you just excited? Are you just ready to hand out copies of it to everyone you know, or how are you feeling about it coming up?
I feel like me and Jack were actually just talking about this. It was crazy. Just we were talking about like almost like, well, it's the end of an era in one way as he's moving to California. We actually just finished up the CP the other week, and it was really emotional for us because we were just like, we've come so far. You know, we started doing this 5 months ago, and even the progression in these 5 months, I truly believe that every song we've recorded has gone up in like quality. Honestly,
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm just really happy with the way things are going, and I'm really excited for everyone hearing the final product. Honestly,
yeah. Me too, man. Jack, what about you? Are you on cloud nine, or are you kind of feeling the emotional sting of end of an era?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's truthfully, it's been a beautiful sort of progress with what we're doing, and every Kyle said it best, like every other song that we're producing now, it just keeps on getting better and better. We're, you know, evolving within our own artistic developments, and I think it's just like, I was saying this to Kyle, I was like, if this is your first EP, imagine like 3 years from now, where both of us will be, and it's honest, it's amazing to be able to already see the progression and be like, oh, we're just getting started, you know. Like this is awesome. Only the beginning, and the quality of our music is significantly better than, you know, when we were first starting a year and a half, 2 years ago, when we first recorded our first launch. And Kyle, you even remember the Foreplay remix that we did?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. That was not good. That was not mixed well at all.
I don't even think that's a bad job too, bro. I don't even think that's on Sims's SoundCloud. I think we released it on a separate account. I'm sure if you look up Sims, you'll eventually be able to find it. But
true.
Sort of seeing where that has led us, and where the EP is now. It's beautiful. It's
really is.
The EP shows, you know, you're able to, regardless of your music taste, like every single song is going to have something for someone. There's emotions in every different songs that of like it's going to invoke more so like however you're feeling in that way. And I think that's sort of the best part, and my favorite part of albums is you want it to be a roller coaster of up and downs. You want to be able to have those highs and lows, and I think this EP does exactly that.
Yeah, well said. I think so too. So having gone over just the progression that you have seen in your own creative process, not only from your earliest releases up until this EP, but also just in the process of making track after track for the EP, like seeing yourself grow. How would you explain that creative process to someone who may not have their own?
That's a really good question. Well, first off, I would say that the most important thing to do is to find your style. You got to find out what you like. Find the artists that you like. And if you think you can make music like them, even if you think you can make music, even if you don't think it's going to sound good, because trust me, almost everybody who starts out does not think their music sounds good at all. So all you got to do is just, what I do personally is I find a chorus that I find a beat that I like. I find a beat that I think is amazing. And then I ask myself, how does this make me feel?
Mm.
And when I figure that out, when I find out, for instance, let's talk about Good Ass Mood, that made me feel happy. Maybe that's a joyful beat. That's a cheerful beat.
Yeah.
But then another aspect of it is, I like telling stories in my songs. I like telling like compressed little, nuggets. So I ask myself, like, how can I take this song and turn it into something that someone can learn from, or something that somebody can get an emotion from? And I think the best way to do that is to make a chorus. You got to write a chorus that's catchy, and I think relatable. Relatability is a very important aspect of songwriting. to me at least.
Yeah, right. Relatability. I feel like it's amazing when you hear a song that gives you memories or feelings that you've never had yourself, and you're like, "Huh? I don't know where these came from." What about you, Jack?
Honestly, I mean, and I've talked about this with Kyle a multitude of times. But I feel like the best content, at least, as great as methodical writing can be and taking your time with stuff, I have found, and I think Kyle will agree with this as well, that the best work comes literally out of nowhere. And Kyle likes to call it the ether. It just comes from the ether. It comes, you just gotta dig it up, and it's there.
You gotta bottle that feeling.
And you can, I mean, a lot of songs that Sims has written, and that like I've been sort of like diving into, it will literally come to you within a matter of like 30 minutes. Like it just like you're able to articulate and express yourself almost immediately, and those are the tracks or the pieces of work that you need to build off of, because there's obviously something there if you were able to write that down that quickly.
Yeah.
And I think within actually, engineering within that, I think it's sort of, it's gotten to a point where it's like, you obviously have your base of, what but then within every individual track, you need to add its own flair into it. And I think that type of progression, finding those like tiny tweaks that you can slowly start adding in other songs, and really, really expressing emphasis on specific parts throughout the song, it just makes it cohesive, and just a really, really good piece in the end that you can look back on and be like, wow, like maybe I didn't like it then, but I obsessed with it now.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I like comparing a good piece of art of any kind to when you can get up close to a painting and actually see the grooves that the paintbrush made, Yeah. And I feel like when you can hear the work, you can hear the attention to detail, you can hear the minute changes within a track, like the way that the artist chooses to emphasize certain things, either in their lyrical content or just in the way the sound moves around the song. Like I think that is in itself the verb of art, the crafting. I love that.
Yeah, you're creating a space, you're creating an environment, and especially with music, that is so important, because the majority of people are most likely listening over headphones or in their car. Or if you're able to allow somebody to escape from where they are right now and to really, enter into another world, enter into another person's mind, and get a glimpse at, like Kyle said, you want it to be relatable, but it's truthfully, the EP is a glimpse into Kyle's mind, into Sims's experiences, and development, and but all keeping that positive message, and even turning in from a bad, not necessarily like good situation that you could be in, and making the best out of that situation. And that really comes across throughout, I think, majority of his tracks.
I was listening to Kicking It, I think. Is that the name of the track? Kick It, yeah.
Kick It.
And driving along, and I feel like I've been listening to this music obsessively the past little while, and all with my wife. All my stories have my wife in them suddenly. But she was all like, I can't tell everything he's saying, but I think I like this song, and then explained to me what the song was about in a way that I was like, yeah, I think you got it. It is a good song, Yeah, like just the ability to say like, okay, here's this situation, and here's the good in it. Let's not write just about the situation, but allow ourselves to reach into the good of it, or even dream up the good of it. I dig it, man. I would like to move into the trivia or really game section of our conversation, if you guys are down for that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. I have named this segment the Sims Poetry Corner. I'm going to give you a quote from a classic work of some kind, and I just want you to give me a rhyme. And I want everyone listening to know that I offered them advanced knowledge of these lines, and they said no. I offered them
I'm playing hard
30
mode, man. Let's do it.
seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds to just kind of give them some time to write something and then share. And they said no. So they want it to be as real and fresh as possible, much like Sims's music, real and fresh. So here we go. The first line I have is from our old friend Willie Shakespeare. Hell is empty and all the devils are here.
The first thing that came to my mind was something along the lines of like a devilish grin with a magnificent spin. I
like that, Jack. That would be a really good next line for like a full verse, I think.
Yeah, I think there's some imagery in that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sims.
Yeah, let me hear it again.
Okay, hell is empty and all the devils are here.
I'm surrounded by angels and I'm feeling no fear.
Yes. Perfect. That one worked out. All right, next line. And this one, we went with literature for the first. We're going with just encouraging scientists for the second. That is a Jeopardy theme, encouraging scientists. It's a good one. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Albert Einstein.
But the best part about life is to charge forward foolishly.
Yes,
Flames.
That's awesome. Yeah. last one. My personal favorite author, musician, television host, human being. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. Fred Rogers.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. So just live to the fullest till the day that you die.
Yeah, nice. That's good. It's tremendously difficult for me to read a lyric with some cadence or melody to it. So I'm glad you were able to. That
wasn't bad.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it. I think those lines were good, man. That's awesome. Sims and Jack are class acts for sure. I am very happy that I get to share their music and their encouragement with everyone listening. I would also like to share a friend and fellow creator, Saran Leaf, and his show, Life's Everyday Soundtrack. Each episode sees a handful of producers with a wide range of artistic backgrounds, styles, and experience levels use the same stems to produce a track. Once the tracks are done, Saran and his trusty sidekick Bentley share the tracks in well-made videos that showcase and honor the artist's contributions. An easy way to look up Life's Everyday Soundtrack would be to follow the link labeled Sister Show in the link tree for the Stay Creative podcast in the show notes of each episode. Additionally, there you can find all the other folks who have sponsored the show through their time, resources, and just general moral support, I'd say. They're good folks, and they're all worth checking out. Also, any social media links and things like that are all going to be there. Pretty much every essential link for getting in touch with or staying current with the Stay Creative podcast will be there. All right, I appreciate your time. Let's get back to the interview. I really want to get into why you make music. Like, I feel like there's pieces of you in every track you release. What is it you're hoping people get out of your music? Or what is it you're hoping that they produce within your life or in your soul, Sims?
Well, I think the first thing about when I make music is that I think I think this should apply to every artist also. I think every artist should first make music for themselves. And I think music should be used as an outlet to express the way you feel. Maybe you're feeling some emotions that you know how to explain into normal words. And, songwriting is a great way to get those feelings across in like a meaningful way, And I also want to make music. I feel like there's a lot of like negativity in rap today. And I thought my favorite songs are the ones where I take something that's a bad situation and, like Jack said, and make it into a good situation. So I want to make people look at things that might have, like the song you've heard, Mama's House, that actually no one on the subreddit has heard yet, except for you, I think. That song is about getting kicked out of your mom's place. Generally, it's given, negative connotations. But I took it. I said, this moment that was bad, it was momentarily bad, but you can flip it around and you can use it as a part to as a stepping stone to grow as a person. And lastly, I make music for people. I was inspired by so many artists growing up. And I think the ultimate goal of any person who should really call themselves an artist is to inspire other people to make art too. When I was first making music, I probably only had 3 songs out at this point. this guy messaged me on SoundCloud. He said, I think he was Australian, like an Australian teenager. He said, like, I really love your music, man, and I hope I can make music like you one day. And that I really actually got emotional when he said that to me. It's just like the simplest thing. If anyone's listening to this and you have an artist, a small artist that you love, tell them that you love their music because it will really make their day. And tell them, honestly, the best thing for me would be able to inspire people to find their own creative outlet. So yeah.
Yeah. That's excellent, man. I agree completely, and I'm grateful. You are making music of such a quality that you could be tempted to elevate yourself above beginners or elevate yourself above even experienced folks because you have found a sound that really sounds like you in a way that some people, it takes them a long time to do, and I think it's a beautiful thing that artists on that side of that great barrier of finding your sound, it's a wonderful thing that those artists can send back to the rest of us who are still looking for a way to figure out what we want to make. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
What about you, Jack?
I mean, I at least like with my experience within mixing has mainly, I've enjoyed the collaborative process, and that's one of the biggest things that has surrounded me within creating music has been working with other people and being able to take, specifically with engineering, be able to take somebody else's idea and give them the quality that they deserve. With Kyle, he deserves literally the best quality on earth. Like,
you're making me blush, man.
it truthfully, I make music. I mix. Let me say this. I engineer for other people. I think engineering is almost in a way a humanitarian thing, because it's allowing a development of other people's ideas.
Yeah.
I think there are aspects of it that it's like, okay, I'm doing that for my own artistic expression, but I think at least what I've found with engineering is I engineer for other people because I love working with other people and getting able to get a glimpse into somebody. I've sort of already said this, getting a glimpse into somebody else's mind and their way of expression, because then that becomes just another influence on me. And if I can take somebody so talented and, so articulate, such as Sims, and be able to advance myself so I can, further better myself, not only with songwriting, but also with my engineering, with producing, and sort of just creation in general.
Yeah, that's excellent, man. I love that. I love whenever I meet people with your types of skill sets who just pile themselves up with other people's music so that they can show that other person that their idea is worth pursuing. Their skills just aren't all the way there just yet, And I think that it's amazing that the two of you are burning this encouragement candle from both ends. Sims wants people to get started, and you want people to find their sharpness, in the community. And that's really what it is. It comes back around to something you said earlier about working together, the people you work with, sharing someone's mind with yourself and helping them get their ideas into other people's ears and better qualities. That's great, man. I'm
Sure.
really grateful you guys have agreed
the people are power.
Yeah.
Just got to give them a platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to ask for a homework assignment for me, for our listeners, for people who may find this podcast in the future. One album, one book, one movie, one video game, one TV show, one anything that you can suggest to everyone right now. I want to know, Jack, you can go first.
I think with album, because I've been thinking about this question a little bit, is just in terms of like sharing what I find myself listening to on the daily, would have to be Coming Home by Leon Bridges.
Oh, yeah.
It's it's completely it's unlike any other type of music that I listen to, because although it has those soul elements, like how often do you see a modern artist, making music that sounds like it could easily be from the 50s?
Yeah.
But that album, if you guys haven't listened to it, please go out and give that a listen.
Great album.
I think it's a phenomenal album. He's so talented.
To add to you talking about how his music sounds almost from an earlier time, the first time I ever heard him was on a playlist of exclusively all old soul music.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is sharp. This is amazing. So I looked him up and I was like, this guy's like around today. Like, what?
This album came out in 2016.
Yeah, like they absolutely fooled me, but I was grateful for it. That's awesome. Kyle Sims, what would you suggest?
An album that I've always loved more than like any other album. One of my favorite albums of all time, and an album that was a huge inspiration for me, I would say, is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I think it's probably a top 3 rap album of all time. Rap album, R&B album. She's a huge inspiration for me. A huge inspiration for me. And I wish she was still making music today. She's showing up a little bit though, but not the same anymore. But I love that album so much.
Awesome. I'll have to check that one out. That's one I have not listened to, so I appreciate that. I'm going to say it, and you guys can correct me, but I want to get to what I think might be the single from your upcoming EP, Damn. But first, of course, I want to give – it is the single?
Yep.
I finally got it right. Yes, awesome. Yep. You can guess every track and eventually get it. But yeah, no, I want to give you guys again just a moment to introduce it.
Yeah, so Damn was probably one of the most, I'd say, intricate productions that we've done. We've got, the biggest thing with Damn, and I think this is, and we've sort of carried this over within progression of further tracks that we've worked on, has been like harmonies and vocal stacking and layering on top within sessions. And it creates this sort of environment and fullness to the track, and honestly to the EP as a whole. But I mean, this song is every person who I've shown this song, it's been, this is radio ready. This literally sounds like something I could hear on the radio, and Kyle should be living it up with a record label or whatever. Like somebody like this song alone could get Kyle signed, in my opinion. But it's exactly what we were talking about. It's taking, outside forces, and it's saying, I don't give a damn because I'm on my own grind. I'm on my own path. But one of the best parts about this song, it's very, very slight. But there's a chant, at the end of the chorus, and it was a nice collaborative process because we were able to get a few other people involved in it and actually create sort of like a chorus effect with it. That was probably the most, I'd say, collaborative song that we have on this album or on this EP.
I would say you talked about how it just kind of encapsulates what you guys have talked about being the central theme of a lot of your music. And I think it feels honestly like sometimes people will call something an anthem. I don't know exactly what that means, but this song feels like an anthem to me in a way.
This song is an anthem.
Yeah. I could see it being on the hearts and lips of people going through, like you said, external, just judgment, just external. Right. Everybody thinks you should this. Everybody thinks you should that. And it's just like, nope, that's all shedding off me. I do not give a damn,
And I do think part of this song goes into like crowd participation. Obviously that's won't be able to happen for a little bit, but in terms of like crowd participation and audience participation, this song is, it just makes you want to scream it at the top of your lungs, and I think that shows. But
this song, I mean, usually a lot of my songs I finish, some songs I finish writing in an hour, some take a day, some take a week. This song probably took longer than any other song I've ever made, and I'm glad I took the time to because I really dug deep within I asked myself my own questions, like, how do I deal with the judgment of other people? And how do I translate that into like lyrics and like melodies that everyone can vibe to? And I mean, like Jack said, every single person I've sent this album to probably 10 people, and every single one of them has said that Damn is their favorite song. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the way it came out, and I'm really excited for everyone to officially hear it on like every platform. It's really exciting.
September 1st, man. I'll be knocking on your door if it's not out. September 1st.
I never had myself the fanciest of clothes and shit. I never found myself collecting all the hoes and shit. I was in high school, chillin', playing in Hyrule, going to sleep in night drill in class, I was never focusing. I never found myself getting all of the highest grades. I always found myself stuck in all of my childish ways. I never saw myself as the greatest of athletes, but shit, the least I could have done was make myself a math geek. Fuck it, that's past me, I'm never going back to that. I'm focused on the future and whatever is the aftermath. Some other motherfuckers just be stuck in all the blaster past, but all I really wanna do is bless y'all with some classic rap. Don't need all y'all opinions, everybody got their own. But I'm a king, so I suggest for y'all to walk the throne. Listen, I got a vision, making the right decisions. I'ma perform for millions while the haters watch at home. Wait a second, bro, you know I had to switch it up because there's something that I really need to preach. Never let somebody ever tell you that you're nothing, and don't let them tell you who you need to be. And I know y'all felt this way before when somebody trying to treat you like shit. Well, pull your straps up, tell the boy to back up, then you tell him something like this. I don't give a damn what the hell you niggas gotta say, cause y'all should know that I be paving my own way. I don't give a damn, I'ma keep on moving and adapting, but the haters never seem to really change. I don't give a damn, fuck you, I ain't in the right mood, put your hands up if you feel the same. I don't give a D-A-M-N, damn, D-A-M-N, damn. You might have never went and driven all the fastest cars. You might have never got to flex with all your MasterCards. But it's irrelevant, I can tell that you're getting it. Yeah, you can set a precedent long as you keep on working hard. You might have never had an easy opportunity. You might be told that every goal you got is lunacy. But you can do it, better create the blueprint. Then you start pushing through it, life's coming together beautifully. I ain't gonna lie to you, achieving ain't the easiest. And every single day is gonna seem harder than the previous. You cooking in the kitchen with the finest of ingredients, while haters shut their mouths like you police and they gon' plead the fifth. But still be grateful for the skeptics, critics, all the doubt. They there to motivate, but all they looking for is clout. Still if they stepping out of line, you better call them out and show them exactly why you're here and what you're all about. All that really matters is you knowing that you're talented and everything starts falling into place. Foot is on the gas as you start mastering your craft, and then nobody will be standing in your way. And if they spray that bullshit, then you say, mind your business and I'm about to mind mine. The hard work it shows, you know how this shit goes. Let me hear it one more damn time. I don't give a damn what the hell you niggas gotta say, cause y'all should know that I be paving my own way. I don't give a damn, I'ma keep on moving and adapting, but the haters never seem to really change. I don't give a damn, fuck you, I ain't in the right mood. Put your hands up if you feel the same. I don't give a D-A-M-N, damn, D-A-M-N, damn.
I am very grateful for the time I got to spend with Sims and Jack today, and I am grateful for the time that you took to listen. I hope you check out their music, and I hope you continue to learn and grow into the artist you are becoming, while loving and enjoying being the artist that you currently are. If you would like to catch the show live weekly, follow the link in the link tree for the Indie Music Feedback Discord server. Pax and Volps have set up a community where artists listen to one another, they support one another, and they sharpen one another like nothing I have ever seen. And if you are looking for an artistic community of your own, the folks there would love to have you. But until then, or until the next episode, stay courageous, stay curious, and stay creative.